Tere hommikust. Good morning. So, who came here to have a good time? Show me your hands. Great. And who came here to create some good connections? Yes, I see hands. And also, who came here with a hope to get some good ideas? Yes, very good. Then I am at the right place because I'm at the stage to warm you up for a very good conference. And not just a great conference by creating connections and, sitting back and listening, relaxing, but also with the hope that you may go away with the next greatest idea that changes the world. Who's up for that? Yes, I see a few hands. Well, you can, think about it. But I'm also here to share with you my life calling and mission. And you see, I help people to be better in thinking, learning, in cooperation, and for that I use the technique called visual facilitation. So it's basically drawing for thinking. I encourage people to take pen and paper and draw imperfect lines. I know it already sounds suspicious a bit and maybe a bit terrifying, but don't run away unless you go to take your notepad because you can't wait to do it. So hear me out what I want to say about this mission. It's one other thing, when you don't have to raise your hand, but just think about if you have attended in some meetings and conferences where you have been just a passive listener and actually, nothing bad happened, but also nothing good didn't come out with this. But what it is for us as humans, we want to develop, we want to contribute. And for that, we need to be active participants. We need to involve our thinking. And how you involve this, there's different ways. One way is that during breaks, you go out, you speak with people, you share that, I got this good idea, and what did you hear? So the ones who are not good in small talk, it's a good way, to approach people. But actually there is one better way, and it is to be active at this point when learning could happen. And it is to take notes. But there is one thing that the studies show us, that I also, I have some slides. And if I don't have a clicker, then it's a bit hard to remember which slide I have to use. And let's see, what's here? Okay, let me see. Yeah, so all good. So the worst way to take notes is not to take notes at all. Funny, but it's true. And it's you rely on your memory that, yes, I will remember this idea later. And this idea, it's so good that I will think about it later. But actually your mind is already full since morning, or maybe since last Thursday, or since last year. So don't rely only on your mind. The second worst way to take notes is actually to take notes just, writing down everything. The worst way is that you open your computer and you just, type everything. Even school students can tell me that this is a process where we don't need to involve our head. It's just between our ear and hand. So what to do? So you can do hand notes. This is one of a very good way because every word and letter is different when you write your notes because in typing it's all the same. But you can do notes, writing down the keywords because then you already involve your mind, your head, you have to kind of free phrase what you heard. But studies show us that the best way to take notes in order to act later is to create notes. And here, I'm not talking only about that you start, just randomly drawing, but you involve this writing and drawing in it. But now we come to this tricky part. What is the average answer if you ask the adult to take a pen and paper and draw? Well, we could, say it out loud here together that I can't draw. No, it's not for me. I'm not the one who draws. Let's make an experiment. Now, you have those nice notebooks. Please open it, take your pen. You also have nice pens with this notebook. And just, draw a very simple stick figure. Can I see you drawing? Draw a very simple stick figure. And, you can let me know if you couldn't do it, if you couldn't draw it. But actually, you just proved yourself that you can draw. Let's do another thing. Right here, I did it. I did it. Be proud, feel it, and draw an arrow from this text to the stick figure. So, at the moment, you didn't even question that you could draw the arrow. But this is the act of drawing. And the funny thing is, I didn't ask you who could write, because it seems so obvious that, I can write, even if actually we invented writing much later than drawing. And the fact is, we haven't invented drawing at all. What comes to your mind when I say that as long as we have been human, we have been drawing? What comes to your mind? Cave paintings. Yes, I don't have a cave, but I have a painting, and we are hunting for an animal at the moment. So we go back like 40,000 something years, and we see how our ancestors were thinking, what they were planning. They didn't do it just for art, to show it for us now, years later. It was the survival tool. And I believe that it's important to gain back now this tool, because now is time to survive as humanity again. So we can't ignore the act of drawing. But when you think about the drawing, if I say it's always with us, that it's a part of being a human, then think about the child. Before the child can walk or talk, the child starts drawing, even if it's only a mother's lipstick drying out on the wall. And maybe that's what we don't want, so we give the child a pen and paper. And we are fascinated what the child is drawing. Approach some parent who's, have a toddler at home and endless talks about how creative my child is, so much that she's drawing and so on. But at some point, but child is not drawing what child sees, but she or he is drawing what she knows, what he feels. It's the inner and outer expression. And we are so interested about it. And at some point, child discovers that there is something she can do with lines, with circles. And that's when adults also discover that, okay, so this is not drawing, maybe this is not right. We start to tell the kid that, this is not like the human being look like. Where are the legs? And maybe you do the nose, and it's totally in the wrong place. So we start giving the feeling that drawing is about doing it nicely, perfectly. It has to look right. And it also happened in history. when we think about when we invented letters and writing, then the drawing kind of like paralyzed, that it was from one side for artists, the one who draw nicely, and the other side for those who couldn't afford learning letters and writing. So it was something primitive. And now we live this legacy today. When you ask the grown-up to draw, then the grown-up says, no, I can't draw like Picasso, so I can't draw. Or, what? Drawing? This is for kids. Are you kidding me? So we have forgotten the act of drawing, that it actually was the survival kit, but also the technique to express ourselves, to do the cooperation. And it's not that I'm against letters, that we can't use letters here, but the important thing is this act of doing with your own hand. It's also this writing part. And it's part of being humans. And I think that we can't afford to lose humanity at this time in Earth, in this time, in this world. We have to gain back this power. And I think that the simplest way is to start involving this drawing again and being creators again. So we are living in this era full of information, and you maybe tell me that, Kati, we invented letters to simplify this life. You know, that we could understand each other better, and then we are more connected. I get it. But tell me then, why we are living at the moment in this era of the world where it's most complicated and loneliest times ever? We are facing the mental health crisis. We are endless emails. We talk, but we are not connected with each other anymore so much. And the most awful thing, we are not connected to ourselves anymore. So we need to start, doing something. And what happens when we involve this act of writing and drawing? Please now take a pen again and draw with me. So let's draw a line. And one side of the line is a face. So this is our head, our logic, this analysis and structure thing. And here, the other side is our hand. And this is the execution. The hand says, let's do it. And this is something that this technology time is doing, that we are so much connected, maybe hands and heads. But the important thing, what happens, and this is why scientists actually can't explain why the act of doing with your own hand changes our thinking. It's because, now let's make a triangle here and add a heart. This is our why. This is our passion, our values. And this is that in this act, we involve this triangle, our head, our hand, our heart. And when we have always thought that the hand's only job is to execute the head commands, it's actually the hand's only purpose is to serve the passion of the heart in order to give clarity to the head. So let me say it again. The hand's purpose is to serve the passion of the heart to make clarity to the head. And this what happens when we start creating with our body, with our hand. And don't get me wrong, you can do it also on iPad or some other digital pad with digital pen, because the act is the same. So it's also okay, but a lot of people say it's something with a paper, it's warm, it's like human touch. And also, I'm not against technology, because I really think that it's amazing what AI can do, all these digital solutions. But it's more vital and crucial now, beside all this, stay humans. to keep this human thinking, because a lot of times the technology is more like a product we do, and we need to be a process. In the process, we have to be creators, we have to involve our intuition. So it's, I even wrote down this, that our hand need to move before our head has a plan, because then we unlock our intuition and creativity. And it's not actually so hard. So now draw with me again. So if you are, what I want to say is that start today. Start to gain back this humanity and practice this act of drawing and writing. So you don't have to start drawing a lot of let's say, pictures and symbols. The beauty of visual facilitation is that you combine it with letters and pictures, because writing is also important. Writing is the one that gives meaning, and drawing is, the one that gives this emotion there. It's like PowerPoint. If there's no power, then what's the point? And the power is pictures, and point is the letters. And so do it with me now. So let's say you write down an idea, and then you can, make a speech bubble around it. Like in comic books, someone says something. And also, maybe you write down something, and then you do a square, you do a triangle, and then like a little, I don't know what's in English, zigzag. It's like a cross. So it kind of makes the feeling that it's a 2D dimension, and you could kind of take this sign out from here now. And also create a square, and then add 2 triangles back there. So it's like a sheet of paper now. Also, you could take it. So it's kind of like creating the story on a paper, feeling that you are in it, that your thoughts are here, and you are active with this. So you can also add a person. I call it a button man. Comes out with a circle and upside down U. And then maybe there can be this kind of sign. Maybe it shows you some idea that you want to execute. Or you do 3 circles, and then you add the bodies, and you have a bunch of people. Maybe you have an idea that you can do something with your team. So you can have these simple things, and you also have here some tips that you can use. But what I also want to leave you today with is that this visual facilitation approach, it's not just about taking notes. And when you take notes, you can have different structures, like you can do it in a mind map style, or I call it the popcorn style, that you randomly get your ideas and then you bring this some shapes there. But it's also the tool for planning and strategical thinking. And there where comes in this imperfect arrow. So you can ask yourself where I am at the moment, and what is this I want to achieve, and how I will get it. So you kind of create these roadmaps, and it really makes a difference that people see that I'm starting to see my plans. And there's a Professor Kaimal, the art therapy researcher, who says that our head is the prediction machine, and this is what brings a lot of anxiety in the world, because we live in our head. Everything seems so scary. We plan so many things. We think 3 steps ahead all the time. And my idea is that let's bring in this imperfect arrow, because this is something that we bring now our thoughts in front of our eyes, and we see our plans. So you can also use the structure of planning like this. But finally, it actually comes all out not about drawing so much, but about fear. The fear that my line is not straight enough, that my arrow is not circle enough, and that my plan or idea is not acceptable. And when I have teach these imperfect lines, this visual facilitation, then people come to understand that actually it's enough. I am perfect, and if I dare to draw imperfect lines, then what else could be possible? So my question, or let's say I beg you today to start gaining back your humanity and creativity by starting doing imperfect lines. And you are not alone in this, because I'm also doing the notes, as Kalev and Liisa said. And they are going to be very simple to inspire you. And as I am speaker as well, I also did notes about my talk. Yes, before I came here. So let's see Kati time-lapse, and you will see how you could do notes as well. So have courage to be imperfect, and actually I welcome you now to the imperfect line movement, because now you're part of the mission. Let's make the world a better place by using one imperfect line at a time. Thank you.
So, thank you, Kati. We still have some time for a question. We have one question for you, already. And you said that there is this kind of a triangle, and it connects the brain and the heart and the hand. And the question is that if I just nervously shake my hand, does it do the same trick that it gives me some clarity to the head?
That's a good.
Do I need to draw, or is that enough?
That's a good question, because I think the answer lying to the question what it's for. If it's just to calming you down, then okay.
It gives what my heart is doing.
Yeah, but when it's like getting some ideas, working with your thoughts, then maybe it's just not helping.
Okay. Have you ever drawn a perfect line? A perfect line?
No, because human hand can never, draw a perfect line. Yes, I have done it with computer, the perfect line.
Maybe the imperfection is the perfection, as you just explained. So
that's good.
Probably I've done some very perfect lines, and I've seen those. So thank you very much, Kati.